The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, show number 474. That's known as a palindrome, when you could read something one way and the other way, whether it's a number or a word. Thank you for joining us. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik. A tremendous show today. So let's begin right now as we welcome Tammy McCall with Johnson Development. Tammy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. So glad to be here.
And let's get important things first. First of all, I said you brought someone with you today, and they have their own camera. Who did you bring?
Chance McCall.
Chance McCall.
Chance McCall. He's very famous.
He is famous all over Facebook. I see him all the time.
Has his own Instagram.
A handsome fella.
Yes.
And let's tell,
he's kind of short.
How many pounds is Chance?
He's 23 pounds.
So encouraging people to go to the YouTube channel, simply go to stewart.com/radio. That's right. You could see us, Tammy and I, and even Chance as he's here. In fact, I thought I just heard him bark there for a minute.
I know. He heard a doorbell.
He heard the doorbell. So, Tammy, you are with Johnson Development Corporation. Let's tell people about Johnson.
Yes. Well, Johnson Development has been around for over 40 years. Johnson Development was started by Larry Johnson, who we unfortunately lost a year ago. But his legacy lives on. We have so many great things going on, so many communities, older communities, new communities, communities still coming up. But, yeah, Johnson Development is a master plan developer.
Ongoing, always doing important work all over Houston.
All over, but not only Houston. We actually have a community in the Austin area, in Leander, which is called Bryson. We have a couple in the Dallas area, and then we have one in Atlanta.
Well, let's tell people, as far as social media, you are around social media. I see you all the time, and Chance, of course, and others. But let's tell people your role.
My role is Realtor Relations Extraordinaire. I gave that title to myself as soon as I got this job, and I put it on my business cards as fast as I could because I was afraid that somebody in the upper management would see it and say, no, that can't be. So I got 500 business cards right off the bat.
That sounds great. In fact, I have a feeling before you were with the company, the extraordinary title probably has followed you in life all around.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So let's tell people, as far as the area that you cover for the company.
Yes. So I cover everything south of I-10 at this time. We've got something that's going to change that a little bit coming up. But for now, do you want me to name the communities now? All right.
Please do. Yes.
Communities are all the way from the Fulshire, Katy, Brookshire area. I have Jordan Ranch, Cross Creek Ranch, Cross Creek West, Harvest Green, which now we're in Harvest Green 2 because we started the expansion, and then Veranda, Imperial, Riverstone, Sienna, and then I go all the way out to Webster in the Bay Area where we have Edgewater.
Those are a lot of developments.
Yeah, there's a lot of communities.
Which ones are the newest ones?
The newest ones would be, none of those are really that new, but Jordan Ranch and Veranda and Harvest Green are the newer of the group that I named.
Which one do you want to talk about first?
I got my start in Cross Creek Ranch, which now we have the expansion or it's actually another master plan community called Cross Creek West. And it does not butt up to Cross Creek Ranch, but it is like a sister community. And so they will share like amenities and the HOA stuff. All of that will be connected so they can use the pools and things in each other's communities.
Give us an idea of some of the distinctions of Johnson Development, of your communities, because they're very nice and they do have distinctive things about them.
You know, it was interesting because I actually did a class recently, and one of the things that people found the most interesting that I said is just explaining what a master plan community is. And it was surprising how many realtors didn't actually understand that. But a master plan community means it encompasses just about everything you could possibly need in your community, whether it be stores or fitness centers or
swimming pools,
swimming
of course.
pools,
Right.
yeah, tennis courts, walking trails, all of that. And the schools, that's a big part. So when Johnson Development goes and lays out a plan, which is the master plan, then we're looking at all of that. We're already talking to the schools before they purchase any of the property to build their schools and things like that. So Cross Creek Ranch is where I started. It's where I was a part-time employee for about 30 days before I became full-time. But that was back in January of 2010. And then Johnson Development bought Cross Creek in April of 2012. Matter of fact, I got an email yesterday saying happy anniversary because April 16th was my anniversary with Johnson Development. So
Congratulations.
thank you very much. Yeah, it was an honor. Anyway, so that's a little bit about how the kind of the start and what happens with a master plan community and some of the things that make Johnson Development stand out. One of the things that we're really proud of is we love to see families that will maybe move in because we do have apartment complexes, they're very nice, and we'll have maybe a couple of people move in those because they're getting started in the world. Maybe they just graduate college. The next thing you know, we want them to buy in the same community. So then they buy a little house in a smaller lot size. And then maybe they have a baby. So then they move up it's just amazing the numbers and the percentages that we see of people staying within the community and just continuing to buy up or move into a different section, as well as their parents. A lot of the parents will move in. Like Cross Creek Ranch has Bonterra, which is a 55-plus community. And so we have a lot of parents that live in there, and the grandkids are close, but not too close.
You have to have a buffer zone.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, as you describe it, Tammy, we're talking with Tammy McCall with Johnson Development. As you describe the various communities, it's interesting the time frame, what it takes to make a community like this, all the research, as you're talking about the schools. I mean, oh, yeah, how about where are we going to get some land? Where is it going to be?
Exactly.
What about drainage? What about all those things? So there's so many things that go into it. It has to be fascinating, all the things you've learned in these many years.
Oh, it is. I knew nothing about real estate when I started working out at Cross Creek as a part-time employee. I knew nothing. I had come from an HR background. I worked for government, municipality-type companies, but never in real estate. So I learned so much, and I had no idea what it took to put these communities together.
Well, it's exciting. One of the things here on the show is we talk to a lot of real estate professionals. We talk about all the people that are coming from other places, other states, other cities to Houston and the Houston area. As far as people finding you, Johnson Development, from outside of Houston, how is that done? And are you finding people that find your website or something, and the next thing you know, it's like, hey, we're over here in Indiana. I'd say California, but we say that too much.
Right,
Indiana,
I know,
Pennsylvania,
because it is California. But yes, it's amazing, what social media does, and of course we have an amazing website for each one of our communities, and then we have our parent website of Johnson Development, johnsondevelopment.com. So you can go there, and then you can click on any community there is to see, what it is you might like or not like, or if clients are interested. The day of the brochure is not so prevalent today. Like I remember when I first started working at Cross Creek, realtors would come in and ask for a packet to mail their clients. Well, now you can get so much more on the website, and so many more buyers are website and social media savvy. So we keep all of that up to date. Everything is live, meaning that if they see a home on there, it's still for sale. Because, the old system, I remember when I first started, the old system would have them on there for a week, even if they sold, because that was the way that the program worked.
Well, give us an idea. One of the things, I'm in admiration of your marketing skills from a distance as I see you on Facebook at various events and so forth. Give us an idea. How do you, and you're very creative.
Thank
I
you.
mean, as we've talked at the beginning, we talked about Chance, your dog that you got how long ago? A couple of years?
Yeah, I got him in August of 2020 during COVID.
He's a tremendous dog. I was going to say person, but he's
good.
He's like a person. Here.
He thinks he's a person.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, one of the things you've done is you've incorporated your dog, Chance, who people could tune in and see. into your marketing
Yes.
and gaining recognition for you and what you're doing, and of course your company. Give us an idea where you get those ideas creatively, and because you're out there a lot.
I think I'm just crazy a little bit, to
But
be
we
honest
don't wanna
with
tell
you.
anybody
But I think people know. But honestly, I think that I listen to people. I've got a really good skill with people, and I listen to people. And that was one of the things that I noticed really quickly, even in myself. I cloned myself first. His chance cutouts were a clone because of the success of my Tammy cutouts. So I at first made 2 cutouts, and I put them in a couple communities. Somebody stole one of me, by the way, and then there was only one Tammy cutout. But they
That's
served
bittersweet,
it's
isn't
a
it?
bittersweet. I'm like, I don't know where I am. It's a little
But
weird.
somebody
but...
must like me to have stolen. Now, and we're just for anybody listening, just to make sure they know, when we're talking about your cutouts, that's another tool you use in social media, and that is actually a cutout of you, Tammy McCall, where it's life size.
Yes.
And if we had that, we could put it here on the camera, and it would look like kind of almost like you're
It
here.
does. I mean, people get freaked out because they walk around a corner and think there's a person standing there. I have 5 in the back of my truck. I should have brought them up.
You should have brought one in just for the heck of it next time.
So marketing-wise, it was like the demand for being in different places at different times. It was impossible for me to be at all of those places. And so I started cloning myself with those cutouts, and I would take them and put them in communities. So then after the initial 2 where one got stolen, I got another 8. And I took one to every community, and they were available for builders to borrow during their events if I couldn't be there. And so after that, and recently I just got brand new cutouts, so I have a new set because, you change,
you gotta update.
Got to update. It's kind of like those pictures on your business cards. But anyway.
That's a whole nother subject.
That's another story. But anyway,
okay.
So then
exactly.
When I got Chance in 2020, people wanted him to come to these realtor events, and I took him by the offices at first, and, we just he just is so good with people because he really is kind of a snob because he's used to people, so he doesn't have that need for attention. So anyway, but now whenever we have things going on, they want him to be there, and I can't always do that. So that's why this came about for the Chance cutouts.
Once again, Stewart.com/radio. You will see us and, of course, Chance. Tammy, before we close this segment, let's tell people anything else you want them to know about Johnson Development, then, of course, how to reach you.
Absolutely. So I'd say the biggest thing is to reach out to me. My job is realtor relations, so I'm here for the realtors. So reach out to me for anything that you need. I'm here to help. There are more communities coming. Johnson is continuing to grow. Mr. Johnson laid out such an amazing plan that when he did pass away, nothing has skipped a beat. And we continue to buy more land. We have another community. That's what I mentioned earlier, just south, so just north of I-10. There's a new community that currently we're calling Plow. All this information's on our website under JDC News. But it talks about this new community coming up. So I'm going to just keep busy and keep going to my communities.
And again, the website is?
JohnsonDevelopment.com.
I want to say hi to my friend at your company, Terry Henderson.
Terry,
He might even be listening, right?
He might be listening. Yeah, he should be.
He signs the checks, I heard.
He signs the checks. Yeah, he's a very important man.
And let's tell people, Tammy McCall, your phone number.
Yes, it is 713-303-2731. 713-303-2731.
Thank you, Tammy.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Chance.
Thank you, Bill.
As we continue, it's time to talk to Shelley Hinkson. She is with C. Tim Sell Property Group in the Katy area. Shelley, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're glad to see you, and you're in a very exciting real estate area as we hear about all the time. But let's tell people, as I said, C. Tim Sell Property Group. Let's tell people what that is.
Well, C. Tim Sell Property Group is a team within Keller Williams Premier that Tim Soika and his wife Lori started about 17 years ago. And we have 8 selling agents, and we have 4 full-time agents that work behind the scenes. They do all the paperwork, the contract to closing officers and the listing officer and They do all the background stuff, the stuff that I don't like to do.
So that's what goes on in the building that I pass by
That's
on a regular
what goes
basis
on
when I'm
there. That's right.
when I'm going for lunch, and that's
That's
great
right.
that you have that recognition right there in Katy off of 99 and what is it?
Kingsland.
Right.
Kingsland.
So you pull into that beautiful area of nice buildings, and there's the C. Tim Sal building.
That's correct. That's right.
It's funny how he has a catchy name.
I know.
That's a good idea. Speaking of marketing, right?
Exactly. And we have a mascot.
There you
He's
go.
got his truck wrapped. We've
Exactly.
got a moving truck that's wrapped.
Well, I heard that the mascot does make an appearance from time to time, and in fact,
Yes, he
one time at a
does.
Fulshire parade. So when we talk about marketing, as we did in a previous segment, here we are again. The marketing is so important. We want people to know about what we do.
Absolutely. And the C. Tim Cell mascot it looks just like our logo, and it actually looks like Tim. So his daughter actually drew that picture years ago when she was little, and he made it into an actual mascot. So it's pretty neat.
Interesting. Maybe next time the mascot will make an appearance.
That would be awesome. I bet we can make that happen.
I bet you could arrange that. So let's tell people, as we think of areas west, like Katy, like Fulshire, let's tell people what's going on. And let's also add, Shelley, if someone's listening that's not really a Houstonian but's interested in Houston, let's describe what's going on in the area, please.
Okay, sure. Well, as everyone knows, during COVID, the market was absolutely insane. Multiple offers on almost every single home, and it was challenging for buyers. It was great for sellers. It was just challenging for buyers, and it slowed down just a little bit when the interest rates started going up. And last year, about a year ago, and slowed down a little bit, but the interest rates are coming back down a little, and people are realizing that you date the rate and you marry the house. You can always refinance later, because when the market is low or slow, when the interest rates are high, the prices of houses are going to be lower. When the interest rate is low, prices of houses are going to be higher, because the market drives the prices up.
And of course, the constant denominator is we always need to live somewhere.
Exactly.
And things change in life. So, hey, we need a place to live. I think the rates are, quite frankly, still okay.
Well, compared to our first house back in 1982, we had a 12.5% interest, and it was adjustable, but it would only go up or down 2 points a year, and we were safe because it would never go over 17.
Oh, wow.
So
That's comforting.
Yeah, exactly. So the interest rates at 6% look pretty good compared to that years ago.
Well, as far as some of the highlights in the market, what are some of the things you're seeing? Again, I guess the West, right? You're focusing there.
Yes. So we are seeing a lot of development, as Tammy talked about, and a lot of new home development. We're seeing the market, the inventory is still low, but it's gaining a little bit. The Houston area is a little bit higher than the national average, but it's still low. We are seeing the interest rates drop a little bit, and we're seeing buyers come out and want to go ahead and jump into the buying a house and get into the game. It's looking up. It got a little slow there for just a little bit, but it is getting busier.
When you're helping buyers, not necessarily outside of Houston, but in other parts of Houston that want to go to the West, does that happen? Let's say someone's living downtown, or maybe they're up north somewhere, but they want to go to the West for schools or whatever else. Are you seeing that much? And then what are the reasons why
I do
people
see
do that?
And some of the reasons is because of schools. Some of the reason is just because of location. The people downtown, the young people want to be downtown where everything's happening. But then there comes a point in time where they'd like to get into the suburbs a little bit more and raise a family. I had a client last year that moved here from Florida, and he's actually a realtor in Florida. He was in the Miami Beach and very successful, but he wanted to start a family and get away from that busyness there. So he moved to Katy, and he targeted Katy, which was really neat to me. We also our marketing director has developed a guide, a West Houston guide that we can send to our clients. And it focuses on all of the developments, all of the big neighborhoods in the western part of Houston. So when I have a client that's moving from out of town, we will identify the area that they want to be in, and if they want to be in any of these West Houston areas, then I send them this guide. And it lets them understand what that neighborhood has available, where it is, what the amenities are, what the taxes are, everything about that neighborhood, which is very beneficial. And it's been very helpful for my clients.
That sounds like a really great tool to help your buyers.
It is. It is, because they can see it on paper. And then they can kind of make a judgment on what they're looking for, what neighborhood meets their needs. And then when they come here, we tour those neighborhoods, and they can see it for themselves. So it makes it really nice.
Give us an idea as we speak of neighborhoods and communities in the West. What are some of the very popular ones right now, if any stand out?
There are. I have a lot of people that want to live in West Katy, Fulshire. I personally live in Cross Creek Ranch. And absolutely,
many celebrities do.
I know, absolutely. Chance and Tammy McCall live in.
I could name a few others too. Now that I'm thinking about it.
But
yeah, it's a great place.
It is a great place. It's a great neighborhood. We've lived there for 6 years. We moved here from North Carolina, and we lived in North Carolina for 24
What
years.
city?
We lived in Chapel Hill for the last 10 years. Then we lived in Cary for 14 years prior to that.
That's a nice place,
Right
North
outside
Carolina.
of Raleigh. It is a very nice place. But you know, those grandkids tug on your heart and they move you back close to them.
And the humidity.
And the humidity.
I mean, I don't know. North Carolina has more distinct seasons. I used to go there every now and then, but they still have a share of humidity in the summer, right?
They do. Not like Houston, though.
No.
Not like Houston. Houston's on its own.
It's on its own,
You
and once I was at a place that had even more humidity, Costa Rica, and it's like I didn't know that it could get even more humid, but yes, it was very thick, very interesting, jungle-like, in fact.
Wow!
But in the meantime, you got here to Houston, no state income tax, so that was a nice thing, right?
Yes, yes.
By the way, speaking of property taxes, what are property taxes like? Do you remember in North Carolina? Are they
were
on par to Houston?
No,
Much
Texas,
lower.
Yes, much lower. Much lower. And I wasn't in real estate at that time, so I can't tell you the number. But
You weren't thinking about it.
I wasn't thinking about it at that time.
Now you do.
And now I do, exactly. And that's one thing that people ask me when we're looking at houses. What are the taxes? What's the tax rate there?
One of my first questions.
Exactly. And we didn't have homestead exemption there either. So we have that here, which helps a little bit. And then when you get to 65, helps a little bit more. I'm not there yet.
Neither am I.
But my husband is. So
Well, that helps.
it does help. It does.
However, when you talk about people from the city moving out west, that's one thing. I talked to someone the other week that's in the Spring Branch area, and then she went to visit someone in Katy, and she's like, hey, wait a second. I got 2 kids, great schools, more room, more uniformity,
Yes.
and she's ready to move.
Yes.
So some of those things happen when people visit wherever. You can visit another state and do the same thing.
Oh,
but
yeah,
when they visit
absolutely.
that Katy area and Fulshire and get that feel, it's really something.
It is. It's a different feel. And, you know, in downtown Houston, there are parts of Houston you can go down one street and it's a really nice area. And then you turn the corner and it's not quite as nice. And in Katy, there's more developed, more subdivisions that are developed and zoned and
Wider streets in some
wider
cases.
streets. And, you know, a lot of people have things about HOAs. I will never live in a neighborhood that doesn't have an HOA because I like that control, that
Uniformity.
The uniformity is a great way to answer that.
Almost like for someone that's a producer of systems and procedures. We like some of those things every now and then.
Yes, absolutely.
Shelley Hinkson, what else would you like people to know about your company and what you're doing?
Well,
I like some of those tools that you have there at
we do
C10
have-
Sales. That's awesome.
We have some great tools, and we have a full-time marketing director as well. My goal is to bring heart and home together. That's my mission. And I treat people the way I want to be treated. Yes.
It's on your card.
It is on my card. I treat people the way they want to be treated. And, you know, Maya Angelou has a great quote. People don't always remember what you do or what you say, but they always remember how you make them feel. And I try to work with clients with that in the back of my mind of how do they feel. And it's an exciting time, but it's also a very stressful time. So I try to make sure that people feel good. My phone number is 832-377-7542, 832-377-7542. Or you can email me at shellyh@kw.com.
And what if someone's driving by the Seed Tim Cell building right now? Pop in and say hi.
Pop in and say hi. You know, I got a client that way
I bet.
not too long ago.
I bet you might have had someone knock at the door and said, "What's Seed Tim Cell?"
Yeah, they probably have.
And the phone number again, Shelly, is?
832-377-7542.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bill.
And let's go to another part of town as we welcome Rosie Cardenas with Houston Top Realty and the Rosie Cardenas team. Rosie, welcome to the show.
Yay! Thank you. I'm very excited to be here and to meet you.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Well, we thank Rachel for bringing you here today, and it's going to be very exciting. So let's tell people, in fact, your badge says team leader, but let's tell people a little bit about your team.
My team, well, first I've been in business for 13 years. I have a team of 2 young people. So I have the experience and they have the energy. So when I'm exhausted, they're the ones right there to go and show and run. And their names are Andy Garcia and Lori Perez.
Right. In fact, on your card, their pictures are there, so that is awesome. Give us an idea of the geographic area that you spend most of your time in.
Yes, it is the south side of 45, close to Pearland, Clear Lake, all that area.
So, which is quite an area.
Yes.
So many economic drivers there. How is the real estate market now? And of course, for those listening outside of Houston, there's a lot of water also in that area. So you could be near the water in some cases, right?
Galveston, yes, Kima, and all of that area. I live in Pearland, so I work a lot in that area.
Pearland, if someone's listening, that's south of the city, pretty much
Correct.
Directly a little bit to the east. Would that be safe? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How's the market there right now?
Well, the market everywhere is the same, and there's not a lot of inventory out there. But when we put a house in the market, we're having multiple offers.
Really?
Yes, that's what's happening
Even
right
now?
Even now. There are a lot of buyers out there, and mostly have conventional loans, which are the best loans. Of course, cash is the queen. But there are a lot of buyers. I just had 2 properties, and we had multiple offers last week. So that was very exciting.
Is the multiple offer scenario a function of the price of the properties? Are the ones that you're having multiple offers, are they at a certain price point, like $350, $400, or
No, they're
any
mostly
home?
$275 to $350.
Now, people listening would say, where can I even buy a home for $250 or $375? Apparently, there are some places, right?
There are some places. Yes, sir.
So now more people may move here, huh? They say, hey, I want to get some of those bargains because that's a bargain.
Call me.
Call Rosie, no doubt about that. So, again, Pearland, though, let's take Pearland as that's where your office is. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, Pearland, what about the sellers right now? So, when you talk to a seller in a market that's very active, where you're getting these multiple offers, how are you coaching that seller? Let's say you come to me and I want to
Yes.
list my property. What do you tell me?
Absolutely. I will recommend to them to listen to our expertise and advice. And basically, we'll tell them, we know what the buyers are looking for, and the house needs to be impeccable. Wherever the buyers are looking at, I don't want them to see anything that they need to fix. And that has worked.
It's got to be ready.
When it's got to be ready from the front to the back, the yard, just everything. It needs to be just desirable. And that's what whenever it's happened that I have multiple offers on the properties, that's because the sellers listened. And they don't even have to spend a big amount of money if they listen to us.
And what about a little curb appeal?
Curb appeal, definitely. They need to do the mulch, cut out all the whatever's, dry or dead. And yes, absolutely.
Well, you're mentioning some people I don't think have updated their landscaping from the last time it froze, I hear.
Exactly. So that's the first thing we recommend. They need to update their front yard, backyard, everything in the house, and trust me, that will bring them a top dollar amount for their house.
How about pools? Do you sell many homes with pools, and is having a pool a feature, a big feature, or what?
It is a big feature. If you have two homes that look alike, like next door to them, the pool will be a great appealing factor for buyers.
Because I heard someone getting a pool, and their pool, they have a small backyard. I said, well, was that about $45,000? She said, no, it's 90. I'm like, holy smokes.
Yes, absolutely. So that will be desirable to have a pool already installed in the house.
So right now, the market's really great. What's your feeling for what's going to happen as we get into summer and close out the year?
Well,
what do you think?
The summer is always super busy for us, for real estate agents. And I know it has stopped a little bit, some buyers and a few months ago because of the interest rates, but people are still buying. I noticed, I had, like I said, 9 offers. This tells me there's a lot of buyers out there looking.
A lot. When we have so many great areas in Houston, north, south, there's so many distinctive little communities. When someone says, Rosie, I want to live in Pearland, what is it that drives people to Pearland in your experience? What do they tell you? Like, I like to be here because...
Schools.
Yes,
absolutely. Families like the suburbs and they like schools.
So that's one of the main drivers.
Yes.
As far as now, also, how far is Pearland? Let's say I live in Pearland and I want to go to Galveston. About how far a drive is that?
That would be about 40 minutes.
That's not a bad deal either.
No, it's not.
So you got a lot of things going on. As far as real estate, now you've been in it how long?
13 years.
13 years. Now you could be doing a lot of things, but what was it about real estate that pulled Rosie into the fold?
I didn't even know, I found this career at 50 years old, and I didn't even know I was going to like it. I just wanted to do a change in my life. And after my kids were married and gone, I said, I need to do something in my life that really fills me. And my husband said, why don't you become a teacher? I said, oh, no, I don't have patience for that. He knows I don't have patience. So I decided to try real estate because I have family that are in this business. So I tried it. And after 13 years, I made the right decision. This is my passion. And when it's your passion, you don't work. And I work sometimes 7 days. I answer my phone all the time, and it's because it doesn't feel like work.
Well, you're reminding me of the quote that John Maxwell said, famous leader and author, and he says it's not work unless you'd rather be doing something else. That makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
That's the barometer to me.
Absolutely.
So here you are in real estate, and it's exciting for you. And let's tell people a little bit about your team. What are their roles with the various team members?
Andy Garcia, which is my youngest guy, he's 28. He just got his license last year, and he is the buyer's agent. Yes. And Lori is an educator. She's a teacher for kindergarten. So she works after hours, and she has all the time after work and on weekends to work.
Having that education experience and the desire goes hand in hand with real estate because we're helping people along the way. And again, through various challenges, and in your experience, I'm guessing every transaction is a little different.
Oh, my goodness, yes. And it's very stressful, but it's just a great satisfaction when you go to the closing table with Stewart Title.
Especially, yes.
And it just, it touches my heart when a single woman tells me at the closing table, Rosie, I didn't imagine that I would be able to buy a house one day. She has two kids. She's a single mom. And she said, thank God and thank you. And so that brought tears to my eyes, But again, it is very stressful because you deal with people's lives, their history, their kids were born in this house. Somebody passed away at that time. Somebody, so many things that happen. So it's their feelings, and I just love it.
It's so personal. the
Very
home.
personal.
I mean, unlike, say, commercial real estate, that's one thing, but the residential real estate agent has to have extra tools, I believe, and this is exactly what you're doing.
Yes.
As far as when you're helping, let's take the buyer again. How many buyers are cash buyers? Let's say in your last 10 transactions. Have you had any cash buyers?
Yes, I have.
What percentage?
I'm going to say about 10%. A lot of people with cash. And see, 95% of my business is Spanish speaking.
Well, if anyone's out there with cash, call Rosie.
Call me.
That could be the new saying.
And we can close like in a week.
The cash is a quicker transaction,
Exactly.
right?
Yes, sir.
So, and of course, you're helping people, mortgages and everything else.
I want people to know that I have my main word in the dictionary is integrity. Just love to help you sell your home or buy a home. Any questions you have, if you like to do investments, just any questions related to real estate, contact me.
And the number is?
281-467-7837. Again, it's 281-467-7837.
Rosie, thanks for being with us. And
Thank
as I
you.
said before we started, just the name Rosie perks me up. I mean, it's just, if anyone's depressed out there, just think of the name Rosie, and there you go.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a great compliment. Thanks.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Let's talk to Mary Ochoa. She is with Stewart Title for just a few years in our Gulf City office. Mary, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. So excited to be here.
Well, it's great to see you.
Thank you.
I was making a joke there. You've been with Stewart Title for a little while. Let's tell people how long you've been with our company.
I've been with Stewart Title this year 43 years. It's my first job out of high school.
43 years.
Yes. And when I started, I had no idea what a title company was.
You know now.
Oh, heck yeah.
So that's unbelievable. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking just one of the first thoughts that comes to mind is all the transactions that you must have been a part of in those many years.
A whole bunch of them. And what's really cool is I'm actually closing now for people who closed with me 30 years ago, now have paid off their home and they want either a smaller or a bigger home. And lots of them still have my business card with my maiden name because I've only been married 40 years and I've been with Stewart 43 years.
That's unbelievable. So
Yeah.
the rotation, it's time to buy another house,
Yes.
maybe a second or third in the meantime.
Yes, yes. Or some of their children. My mom and dad told me to come to you because you could help us out. And yeah, so it's been real cool.
I want to tell the listeners also, if they haven't picked up on this from previous shows, there are many people in our company that have such a tenure, that have been around not for 10 years. I'm going on 10 years pretty soon, but for several decades.
That's correct.
So what is it about Stewart Title that keeps you there all these years?
I love my job. I love to make people happy. I love to know that when they come to my office, I'm going to make them feel comfortable. And since most of my customers, I would say a good 65% of the customers are Hispanic. So that's why I was actually hired there because of being bilingual. So I do more closings in Spanish than I do English. So it makes me feel good when these people come in. Most of them are scared to death because they don't know I speak Spanish when they're going to sit down and sign all the legal documents. So once I start explaining one or two documents, you can just see it in their face. They're just so much more relaxed. Yeah, and I've made some good friends, real estate agents and buyers and sellers, just because they've been comfortable and trusted in me in closings.
Just like someone said earlier, how you make them feel. They
Yeah.
remember that.
Yes.
They come on back. And I bet they remember it even after 7 years, 6 years.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, some of them come back with the business cards with my maiden name on it. Yes.
That's unbelievable. So the other thing is that in the real estate transaction, to most of us, even those that have purchased a home before, especially new buyers, the transaction is mysterious when they get to the closing tables, like you said, documents upon documents.
Right.
You help make that simple.
Yes. Yes. And when they see the stack, I have to right away tell them, don't worry about it. You know, it looks like it's a lot, but lots of these are duplicates, especially on your mortgage loans. I said, but I'm going to explain all the documents to you, and I will not let you walk out that door until I know you feel comfortable and you understand everything. But, you know, the most important thing they want to know is how long is that mortgage for and that interest rate, and that they don't have a prepaid penalty. That's the most important thing. So I always have those documents out first.
And what if somebody a week later says, hey, Mary, I got a question. You're there for that?
We're there. Oh, yeah. And not only a week, but 6 months, 1 year, 10 years.
10 years.
Oh,
That's one
yeah.
of the beauties of Stewart Title, right?
That's right.
Something changes, there's a problem, we're down the road.
That's
we're gonna
right.
Be there
Well,
for
you know, Stewart Title's been around for 130 years.
That's unbelievable,
Yes.
isn't it?
That's unbelievable.
That's a whole 10 shows right there
That's
to talk
it.
about Stewart history, what's gone on
That's right.
in the real estate world, but also through your time at Stewart, the 43 years, look at how real estate has changed.
Yes.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but every real estate transaction is a little different anyway.
Oh, it's completely different. Oh, yes. From a cash to mortgages to, yeah, it is
Situations
completely.
that come up.
Oh, yes. You better believe it. Sometimes I'm like, this is unbelievable things that we come across.
How do you stay organized and keep things in order? Because there's a lot of details.
Working a lot of hours. That's how we keep everything in order and organized. Yeah. Sometimes I walk in and I feel like an escrow officer. Another day I feel like a processor. And another day I feel like an attorney.
That's why you have three hats.
Oh, my gosh. Yes.
We are talking with Mary Ochoa with Stewart Title in our Gulf Freeway location. Let's tell people, Mary, I know there's people right now that not only want to close with you, but they may want to buy a house just to close with you, I'm thinking.
Well, that's awesome.
How can they reach you?
They can call me at 281-481-3327. And my email address is mary.ochoa@stewart.com, 281-481-3327. 3327.
Mary, it's been delightful. Thanks for being with us.
It's been a pleasure.
And I think I'm going to buy a house and I'm going to come and see you.
And I will do it in Spanish or English, whatever you want.
I can be silent in 7 languages.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
Thank you. And Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is, John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance. Hey, John.
Hi, Bill.
Here you are. Show number 474.
474.
I heard that was a good year.
474 is an excellent year.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting to hear about the tenure of the Stewart associates that we work with on a daily basis, and people that have just come on board. But yeah, it's people that have the long tenure. It's no stranger.
Well, it's interesting. You were talking about you're coming up on a decade, and in some instances that would be a seasoned veteran, and in some instances you're still a rookie.
I'm still a rookie.
You're still a rookie.
That is for sure. So here you are with insurance once again. What should we know today, John?
Did you know that April is National Fair Housing Month? In 2022, National Fair Housing Authority received over 31,000 complaints about fair housing discrimination, up 9% from the previous year, and they're starting to see trends in that area, and it can be, a bit disturbing because, that can go a long way to affect an individual realtor's or a broker's license or a property management firm's license, if you had a fair housing claim, come against your firm. And one of the things that we've seen is the Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, they'll actually send out what they call testers, and they'll visit a property management, somebody in a real estate professional or a lender, and act
like incognito.
Yes, like a
secret shopper.
Secret shopper, exactly.
That's what came to mind.
Yes, yeah, and
really
to see how these real estate professionals are treating the protected classes, to make sure that everybody is treated fair and everybody has an opportunity.
Fascinating.
So it really is. You don't want to be in a situation where, as a realtor or property management firm or real estate broker, have somebody come back to your firm and say, we've had a complaint because you were told we wouldn't help you because of your religion, or we're going to charge you more for a down payment because of the number of children you have, or we're not going to be able to accept a security animal because of you've got a handicapped situation. So we don't want to see those types of situations. We're seeing more and more of the professional organizations within the industry take these concerns very seriously. So whether it be, the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals or the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, NAR, they all are very much looking at how we treat people, how we communicate with people, just interact with people. And it's more than just a conversation. It's, social media. It's, emails. So they're really looking at how that goes about to make sure that whether, regardless of your race or your origin or your sexual orientation or where you're from, or if you're an Aggie or if you're left-handed, whatever it may be, that everybody has an opportunity.
The point is, if we conduct our business, our lives, our day-to-day, whether we're brokers or not, if we're doing the right thing,
yes,
just do the right thing, right?
Yes, I mean, treat people as you'd like to be treated, or treat people as they would like to be treated. If we can, just honor those, that would be great. These professional organizations, and I know many brokers and many property management firms offer really significant training and beneficial training in these areas to make sure that we don't, by mistake, offend somebody. And it's important that we take advantage of those types of training. I know in our professional liability Protect Your License class, that's one of the areas that we talk about is how to make sure that how you're conducting your business protects you and your license. And if you're a real estate firm or a broker, property management firm, beyond the education and beyond the training, that's where an errors and omissions coverage would come into play, because you can see most errors and omissions plans, especially those that are written for real estate companies. And the companies that we work with, the insurance partners that we work with, all have specific plans just for real estate. They come, the fair housing coverage can come into play. Now, it's usually it's going to be an endorsement onto the policy, which means in addition to the policy, there may be some sublimits. So, for example, if you have $1 million in liability coverage and $1 million for annually and $1 million per incident, maybe the sublimit is $250,000 or $500,000. But there is coverage. So if you have an issue, things like attorney fees or court costs or settlements and judgments, some of those costs can be covered as part of your errors and omissions plan, but you have to, one, have the coverage, and then two, make sure that it's there.
So there is protection in case a mistake is made, offered by Stewart Insurance, your company, dealing with many insurance companies.
Absolutely. So there's a couple things. One, you can minimize the risk by, as you said so eloquently, doing the right thing, treating people the way that they would want to be treated or the way that you would like to be treated. And then to offset that risk, yes, is to carry an errors and omissions coverage and work with a company like Stewart Insurance that has that focus on real estate, where, our goal is to be the insurance resource for real estate.
Well, so many things come to mind, but one is that the real estate professional, when people think, well, what does the realtor do? The real estate professional has to do so many things, including be mindful of what we're talking about right now, and also have so many tools available to help buyers and sellers. So I think those realtors are earning every penny they make as they help buyers and sellers all over the United States, for sure.
Well, absolutely. I mean, if we heard today that there's still situations where we're having multiple offers on a piece of property. So if I'm helping somebody sell a piece of property and I'm juggling 9 offers as a real estate professional, or if I'm helping somebody buy a piece of property and I'm competing with 8 other offers, I mean, that's a lot to work with. And we know that our realtor friends out there and our real estate brokers out there are not just dealing with one client at a time, that they got multiple clients at a time. So you really do have to step back, take your time, and make sure that what we're doing is the right way and how we're doing it. And, I always think of it in terms of kind of a controlled sense of urgency. You want to be fast, but you want to be smart about it.
While it's exciting to be the realtor that has all these offers and the seller that has all these offers, you better tread with systems and procedures and do the right thing at every turn, because it could be trouble.
Well, it is. I mean, I told the story before, but I have a client. She called me. They had accepted an offer from a buyer, and it was a significant offer over the asking price. She received a phone call from another real estate agent saying, "What did you think about my email?" and the offer. And what email? And it was in her trash files of her email, in her trash basket, and it was higher than what had been accepted.
The seller didn't like that.
No. Fortunately, they had a good enough relationship, and she was a good enough professional that they were able to work through it. But no, the seller didn't like it, and she was concerned. And fortunately, she did not have a claim filed against her and did not have to use her errors and omissions coverage. But that was just a simple mistake. But again, it shows about the small things are important.
Absolutely. John, let's tell people how they can reach out to you at Stewart Insurance.
Well, if you'd like to be properly insured, so whether it be the most robust insurance coverage or very conservative coverage, and that could be for you and your family, or that could be for your real estate business, we'd be happy to help you out. You can reach us at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. You can learn more about us online at stewartinsurance.com, or you can email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
Once again, the phone number is...
Well, we have a new Pearland hotline.
Oh, yeah?
866-798-2827.
Thank you so much, John Bramlett. Here she is, Tammy McCall with Johnson Development. Tammy, bring Chance over here while you're at it. As we close the show, what else do you want people to know? Let's prop up the little guy. Here he is.
I want people to know that Johnson Development goes by reputation. So you can speak with anybody, and especially people who live in the Johnson Development communities. Anyway, so come see us in Johnson Development. We have a stellar reputation, and you will not be disappointed. And we have amazing realtors that live in our community, which I think speaks volumes. There's over 90 realtors, including Miss Shelley, who is on your show.
How about that? We're going to hear from her right now.
All right.
Tammy, how can people reach you?
713-303-2731. That is 713-303-2731.
Thank you so much. Shelley Hinkson is back with C. Tim Sell. Hey, Shelley, welcome back.
Thank you.
So as we close the show, what should we know?
Well, I think that if somebody is looking to buy or sell a property, C. Tim Sell Property Group has an amazing reputation, and we are consistently the top group in the Keller Williams Premier brokerage in all categories. I personally have helped 75 families in the last 2 years find home.
Wow.
So our team has sold almost 4,000 homes or helped almost 4,000 families.
That sounds good.
We'd be honored to help them.
And we say hello to Tim at C. Tim Sell.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Tim. And wherever the mascot is. Let's tell people how they can reach you, Shelley Hinkson.
832-377-7542. Thanks so much. 832-377-7542.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Rosie Cardenas is back. Rosie, before we close things down, what else do you want people to know?
I want people to know that if you have a language barrier, hablo español y les puedo ayudar. And I would love to earn everybody's business. I love to serve you as if you're wanting to sell your home or buy a home. 281-467-7837. And I am in social media, Facebook and Instagram. And my email address is rosiecardenas044@gmail.com.
Sounds like you said, 281-467-7837. It's written where I don't even need to put my glasses on. Nice and big. Rosie, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
We want to also thank Rachel Saunders, Joyce Eisenberg for bringing tremendous guests. They were the casting directors here today. Thank you, ladies, and thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. That's right, you can go and see the show, not only hear it at stewart.com/radio. That's stewart.com/radio. It's right there. You can see all the fun that we're having here. Super information on this show. Stay with us next week. Even more fun at stewart.com/radio. Thank you all for listening.